Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video of Wild Rift. So they're back with a Xayah updated complete guide for patch 5.3b and onwards. But of course, as usual, before we really get into it, don't forget to check out Xayah's basic guide. I'll put up in the cards above for his skills, leveling order tips and tricks, as well as a couple of combos. But with that said, now let's get straight into it. So, first things first, if you guys watched my Draven video yesterday, you guys will know that my mic, has basically died on me. But thankfully, due to the wonders of next day delivery, we are able to get ourselves a new mic, and now we're back in action. So hopefully the clarity on this video on the new mic is gonna be amazing, which I hope and I pray will be, because it's a upgrade, right? So anyways, let's move on to talking about our build. So first up, we have the Gluttonous Greaves, giving us obviously AD and Omnivamp as usual. Then we go for the Bloodthirster for, AD, physical vamp, as well as, of course, just more stats when you're high on health. Biggest ADC static item you can get, an amazing first item. Then we get the Navori Quick Blades. Now, Navori Quick Blades, of course, gives you crit AD and ability haste as well. But the main part of the Quick Blades is the fact that you can, of course, lower your cooldowns whenever you crit, which at this point in the game should be relatively often, considering you have two crit items. She's gonna lower the cooldown of your W to give you more attack speed more often, as well as your E to, of course, get you that feather pullback more often. Then instead of going for Magnetic Blaster, which is still an option by the way, you could still go for Magnetic Blaster. We're actually gonna go for IE, just for more pure AD, as well as just getting extra damage when you crit. Now I think you actually have enough attack speed just based off the fact you have Quick Blades, and you're also taking Lethal Tempo. And yeah, so you actually can just go for IE instead of another attack speed item. So for the fourth item, we're going to go for Mole Reminder for the Armor Pen, as well as the Grievous Wounds. And the last item, we're going to go for defensive options. I've just put Maul here as a default. You could go for, things like Shield Bow or Steric's Gauge, items like that. But for the runes, we're going to go for Lethal Tempo to get ourselves the extra attack speed and attack range. We have, of course, Brutal, because we auto-attack quite a bit. Giant Slayer, counters tanky champions. In general, if you're picking Xayah, generally they're going to be tanky champions that want to run at you, so generally this is going to be a good option. And Alacrity for even more attack speed. Bone Plating, of course, for the defensive capabilities. Now for the spells, you want to go for Flash together with, generally it's Ghost, but you will see in the match later that I actually took Exhaust, and I'll explain that a little bit more, but generally Flash and Ghost. And on some instances, like when there's a lot of assassins, or in some instances where you need to take Exhaust, then you can go for that. If not, generally it's going to be Ghost. So all that said, now let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Alright, so now let's talk about the Xayah gameplay itself, but before we do so, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and of course be sure to address them. Also, hopefully let me know if the mic is, working well, you guys can hear me clearly. So anyways, let's now hop into it. So, generally, you guys want to play Xayah when you're into a lot of, like, engage, or people who want to just run into you. I mean, honestly, Xayah is just a good pick in any match. She's just a really good blind pick ADC. Like, if I had to first pick and I had to blind pick, I would be definitely okay to blind pick Xayah, because she doesn't really have very much bad matchups whatsoever. So, it is pretty alright to pick that. So in this match, I think it's an insane match for Xayah. Like, Maokai wants to jump at you, Evelyn wants to, assassinate you as well. You can't ult Evelyn's ult, or when you get charmed by Evelyn, you can pop the ulti to prevent yourself from getting comboed. Lissandra also wants to fly in at you and ult you, so you can also use the ult for that. Tristana has to jump at you to, of course, proc the bomb and auto attack you, although she doesn't always have to do that, she just likes to do that. And Thresh again likes to hook you and jump in on you as well. So kind of Xayah basically nearly counters their entire team, at this point. So lovely game for Xayah. And here we once again have a Ashe who does not have support item. Like, if you guys saw a couple of videos ago, I'm not sure which one it was, but we had a video where Ashe refused to buy support item, and here's another one. I'm not sure if what's going on here, but apparently there's a lot of Ashe quote-unquote supports that don't actually build support items, so they're not actually supports. They're just, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, we're here, and we are getting hooked apparently. But thankfully we have a lot of feathers down already. We actually basically bait them in. I say it's a bait, but in reality it was a really close one, right? And yeah, so obviously I didn't get hooked on purpose there. That was a complete mistake. However, I did have a lot of feathers on the ground already. And because of that, the fact that I have exhaust, which counters Tristana, by the way. I didn't explain this, but basically, whenever you play against a Tristana, in general, you want to pick up exhaust like 90% of the time, because exhaust is a hard counter to Tristana, especially both in lane and in late game, but especially in lane. Because what Tristana always wants to do is full stack a bomb and kill you, right? That's what she's trying to do to Ashe right now. But if you actually exhaust her at the appropriate time, which means not immediately, but you want to exhaust her when she has a few stacks on her bomb already. When her bomb explodes, it's going to do a lot less damage, which means she likely will not be able to kill you. So that's basically what I did there. Although I got hooked, I was able to prop all my feathers onto both of them, and I was also able to exhaust Tristana, not panic, exhaust Tristana at the correct moment, and that reduced her damage on me tremendously. We're able to take her out, putting me at 1 HP while I'm at it, and the Ashe was able to use Summoner Heal to actually heal me up, and that actually allowed me to survive and kill the Thresh. Speaking of killing the Thresh, here we are doing it again, this time helping out our Pantheon, as the bot lane actually rotated over there, to contest the skull apparently, but we're able to, of course, help out with it. Now, Pantheon's actually ulting in here onto the Tristana, but obviously Tristana can see that happening, and she's just able to essentially just walk away. Now here we have we actually get the turret taker on the toolkit, and we're gonna proc it down right now to hopefully get a plate. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're able to do that because they're able to actually kill it in time. Now Evelyn is here, and I'm surprised that Pantheon's gone in, because Evelyn is here and Lissandra is actually here as well. So I don't really think we should be fighting this far up. I'm moving towards the right side because I know that Evelyn and Lissandra are likely to come from the left side, from the river, and also we have a control ward in the bush, so if Evelyn comes near, we can also spot her out using that control ward. So now we're able to get the last plate. Thresh actually flays us in, but I'm not quite sure why, because Ashe, as you can see, procs her press the attack, actually stuns him, and we're able to actually get a kill. So this Ashe support, despite not actually buying support item, did give us all 4 of the kills, and is not actually actively trying to steal our CS, or so I thought, as she just stole the cannon there. But yeah, so we're off to a good start. We're 4-0. Pantheon's also 4-0, so no one on our team is actually doing bad. Everybody is actually winning against their counterpart by actually a large margin, right? Xayah is 1k gold up, Pantheon is 1k gold up, Orianna is also 1k gold up, and I am like 2k gold up on Tristana, and Ashe is also 1k gold up. So at this point, based on how the math shakes out, we're actually like 6k gold ahead of the enemy team. So it's only like 5 minutes into the game, so we have a huge just lead overall, and that's amazing, right? Like, I'm sure everyone's happy to have these kind of games. You rarely have games that every single lane is winning, and yeah, this is just one of those where your whole team is winning, and we're just golden. So here the objectives have spawned. My Ashe has actually decided to roam to the Herald itself, so I can't really play too aggressively without my support here, and also because I don't really know where everyone is. So instead I'm going to complete my Bloodthirster. I'm going to rush my way back to the lane and just attempt to try to stop Tristana and Thresh taking too many tower plates. So at this point in time, they've taken nil tower plates. So here, they're probably going to get 1. I get hooked in by Thresh. Tristana actually ignores it completely. I actually ult there, and I was actually trying to root the Thresh under tower, but I kind of fail. So in grand total, they only got 1 plate. I was able to stop them before the second plate went down, thankfully, and Ashe is actually also back to help. So here we're able to now, with the help of Ashe, take out all of the minions, and yeah, the tower has already been taken beforehand. However, we don't want to give them free playings. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make when you get fed is you just ditch your lane and rotate up to other places of the map. Now, yes, you should rotate to other places of the map to get more plates, or to get kills for your other teammates, or get more kills for yourself. However, it's never a good idea to ditch your lane completely without pushing it out, because this would mean that you're just giving free plates to the enemy team for doing nothing, right? You've put them behind, they've gone destroyed by you essentially, and what's the reward, right? The reward should be to get destroyed by you even more. It should not be that they get free plates for no reason when you had to fight them so hard to get your plates. So you should definitely not give them free plates. So anyways, here the Evelyn tries to go in onto my Ashe. Ashe actually survives, and me and Orianna are able to clean up the rest of the fight and kill all three of them involved. Now here comes Lissandra, obviously gonna attempt to go for Orianna. Now I know she has ult, which is why I'm a little bit skeptical about just walking straight up to her. But yeah, so we're absolutely fine. We still have our own ult, if in a worst case scenario, but obviously we don't really need it right now. So with that, we're now just going to take a reset. And pick up the components for our Navori Quick Blades. Now, of course, as I mentioned, if you guys prefer, as a second item, you can also go for Magnetic Blaster. Third item, you could also go for Magnetic Blaster instead of IE. Still a very viable item, still an amazing item on Xayah, but I like the damage, from IE, and I think the attack speed you get from your W with Navori cooldown, as well as from the actual lethal tempo is enough. Now, surprisingly, no one has decided to take the turret, the gorilla turret here. So I'm just doing it myself, basically. So here I'm stacking up the feathers, making sure I have enough, and then just pulling them back to secure the gorilla turret. So really interesting there. I believe this is the first time I've ever taken the gorilla turret by myself, and I think in my 3 years of playing Wild Rift, it's one of the only times as an ADC I've gone up and soloed the Herald, basically. I think this might be like the second time I've ever done that ever, because like, why would that ever happen? So anyways, I spawned the turret in the mid lane. We're going to use it to force down the mid lane. Lissandra puts out the claw. Everybody runs away from the claw. But honestly, if she goes in there, that's suicide. Like, she's definitely going to die. So here comes Maokai. Here comes Thresh. We're able to root the Maokai. Maokai basically takes free damage and has done absolutely nothing so far. Finally, he's able to move. Huge Orianna ulti is able to take down 2 people. I'm not sure if I should have ulted the Maokai out there, but it doesn't matter because Pantheon is able to finish off the kill onto Maokai, and all 3 of them are now down, and this means we're gonna actually get mid lane in here. Now that's a pretty huge deal. Evelyn coming in from the side gets a relatively free kill, but gets stunned by Pantheon, and I'm able to finish her off. So overall, a 1-for-1 trade there. Enemy jungle for our support. Hey, that's a trade I would take. Although our support is more fed than the enemy jungle, so I'm not too sure what's going on there with the enemy team. But at this point, we have like a close to 15k gold lead. So honestly, sometimes you have games like this. Honestly, this game is, I wouldn't say it's unlosable, because no game is unlosable and no game is unwinnable in my opinion, but this is the kind of game that in order for the enemy team to win, your whole team has to kind of give away all their shutdowns and maybe like lose at that point is where like Baron or Elder spawns or something like that, and that's how the enemy team like wins the game. But other than that, it's really unlikely. Here, Lissandra gets hit by Orianna out again. Here, I'm trying to actually get a pick on her, but she has the stasis as well. Eventually, we are able to get her, but she did delay a lot of time. The only thing is that the time she delayed didn't actually really mean very much, because her team did not really do anything with that time. So in my opinion, she shouldn't have wasted the stasis there. Just take the death, and stasis probably can come in handy at a better time than this, because you're gonna die whatever happens there. Your team is not close enough to really help you. Speaking of dying, Orianna dies and gives away a shutdown, which is no good. However, Pantheon cleans up and gets, the next 2 kills. Now, Maokai is slashing in on me for some reason, and yeah, Pantheon picks up the triple. And yeah, so here, there's no point really doing anything in mid, because we've already gotten the inhib, and it's not very likely we can end, simply due to the fact that the death timers at this point in time are just really, really low. And accidentally actually steal the blue buff there from Pantheon. I don't even think I noticed it in the game, but yeah, I was just trying to help, and sometimes when you try to help, you end up just stealing it instead. But Pantheon just one-shots the enemy jungler, the Evelyn here. And now we really want to take this tower if we can. Thresh and Tristana are on their way. I get hooked by Thresh, and Tristana is starting to stack up on me. I'm not in range to actually exhaust Tristana. I'm trying to do so, but eventually we're able to take her down. We flash away, we're kiting. Unfortunately, it's a Maokai, and he can point and click jump at us, and we do end up dying to him eventually and giving him the shutdown. Although, I would say that out of everybody on their team, maybe Thresh would be better, but giving Maokai a huge shutdown is, it doesn't mean anything. And furthermore, the enemy team just surrendered. So there is the relatively abrupt end to the video. Probably not, because you guys can see the video timing anyways. But with that said, I'll leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.